Well, we can get started. Today, everyone, as you know, we have Jared from MLS. Always a welcome guest for us. We love it when Jared comes to visit. So thank you for your time, as always. Now Jared kind of go on autopilot with this, and we really try and focus on searches with Jared's visits, how to set up, but more so kind of all of the cool things that we can do within our search functions, and really tailoring it to our buyers as specifically as possible. So we'll start off with that, and I don't know if we have time. I'm sure he can go into some other functions within MLS, and then answer any questions, of course. But with that, then I'll just let you take it away.
All right, thank you. Steph, if you would just help me kind of monitor any chats that come in.
Absolutely.
And if you do have questions, put them in the chat. Feel free to unmute yourself, ask the questions. I'm definitely here to make sure that I answer any questions that you guys have. Like Steph said, we're kind of be focusing on some searching functionality today. Tips and tricks, kind of working smarter, not harder type of things. So the first thing I'm going to go through, and I hear from a lot of people still, even though full search has been gone for a while, that they've really missed the full search functionality. And what I hear is that the quick search is just so much different than what the full search was. So I just want to kind of clarify a few things, show you a setting that may make things a little bit easier for you. So I'm in quick search right now, and as you can see, our menu tree is completely collapsed.
Oh,
so
one second, Jared. Everybody, can you please make sure that you're muted? Thank you so much. Okay.
So the menu tree is collapsed here. So if you wanted to add, like a list price or anything, you have to click on it to open it up. There is a setting which I'm going to show you that actually will have all these fields open for you. Personally, I've been using the system now for almost 20 years, and I like having those open. It just helps me kind of see, things a little bit easier. So I'm just going to go to my menu. I'm going to go down to my preferences. And under preferences, I'm going to click on general preferences. So in this very top box under search, you can see it says expand all fields for quick searches. I'm going to go ahead and just click that on. Now that it's blue, I'm going to click on save. So now when we go back to our quick search, you'll see that all of my menu options are now open for me. So I can easily see at a glance, what I can add into each of these different categories. I also can customize these search templates. So keep in mind that when you are using these search templates, when you go ahead and use this drop down here, we do have templates made up for basically every property type, but you can actually go ahead and customize your own templates. So there may be certain features that you're constantly using that aren't part of this template. So we're going to go through and actually show you how to create those templates, save those templates, and then work with those templates. Keep in mind also that whatever template you choose, the system's going to remember that template. That was the last one that you used. And anytime you go back into quick search, it's going to bring that template up for you. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're searching for vacant land one day, you come back in and you're searching for a single family and you're like, where did my bedrooms and bathrooms go? Always check to make sure you're using the proper template. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just add a couple of fields to this template here. So if you think of this as being full search, anything in this menu tree right now, these are going to be the different features that were on that main fields tab. And any other of those tabs or subcategories are going to be found under this add a fields. So if I click on that, I can literally go through and scroll to find what I'm looking for, or I can just start typing what I'm looking for. The one I'm going to actually go ahead and type in is just water. So when I type in the word water, you'll see it reduces my options down to just those fields associated with the word water. I can go ahead and click on the individual item to bring it over to my menu. Or if I want to add an entire different category, so if I want all of my water features to be accessible for me, I can click on this little blue plus sign, and it's going to add that entire category to my options over here. Let's say I don't want certain features to be in here, like I don't care about the state. I can just go ahead, hover over it. In the upper right-hand corner, I can click on the little X to remove that from my options. So I really can customize this as much or as little as I want to. But let's say I went ahead and made all the changes that I wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and save this template for later use. So in the upper right-hand corner, I'm just going to click on save, and it gives me two different options. One is to save my search. So if I actually had gone in and put in number of bedrooms, bathrooms, price ranges, things like that, that would be the save search. However, I just want to save the template without having any criteria. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Quick Search Template. It's going to ask me, do I want to create a new template or do I want to replace an existing template? So when I name this, it's basically going to alphabetize all of my different search templates for me. And it's going to look at those templates that the MLS has created, whereas 01, 02, 03. So it's going to look at the numerical values first. And then from there, if I had several 01s, it's going to alphabetize those for me. But let's say I want to make sure I have this template at the very top so I can always easily click on it without having to scroll through. If I use the pound sign, that pound sign is going to trump everything else that is in my drop-down menu. So I'm just going to call this pound sign Keller Williams test. I can assign a view to it. So basically a view is, it's going to refer to those vertical columns when I look at my list view. I'm just going to leave it at address and MLS number. I'm going to click on save. So now next time I want to go ahead and use this template, I can just use my little drop down here for my template. Go up to the top here, got my KW test, click on that, and it's going to bring that up for me. Now, when I'm doing this on the fly like I just did, it's not going to allow me to adjust the order of any of these. However, if I wanted to make sure that my water features was towards the top, all I have to do is go to my menu, and under my preferences, I'm going to go to my quick searches. So if I wanted to create some templates ahead of time, I could go directly here instead of going to that quick search. So I'm going to go ahead and select the Keller Williams test one. You'll notice I can remove it, so I can get rid of a template altogether if I wanted to. I can give it to someone. So if I have a template set up and someone in my office sees it and likes it, I can go ahead and click on give to someone, and that's going to allow me to give them a carbon copy of that template, or I can edit it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on edit. And then from here on our screen, shows us the name. We can change it if we wanted to. Property type is going to be single family. I'm going to leave it as the default view with my address and MLS number. Go ahead and click on next. And in here is where I can go ahead under available fields. I can add additional fields to my template, or I can go ahead and reorder this template. So let's say I want to move all of my water features towards the top. If you're a PC user, if you hold on your control key and click, it's going to allow you to select multiples. If you are a Mac user, it's going to allow you to, it's going to be your command key that you're going to hold down to select the multiple options. Once I have those selected, you can see I can move them up, move them down, or remove those options. So I'm going to go ahead and click on move up. I'm just going to move these up all the way to the top. And when I'm happy with that, I'm going to click on save. So when I go back to my quick search, I have my KW test, and now you'll see that all of my water features are at the very top of my template. The nice thing about this is you may have a niche market that you work in, whether it's, with retirees, people looking for accessibility features, water features, things like that. These templates are going to allow you to create those items that you use on a regular basis. It takes a little bit of loading up front, but it really is going to save you time in the long run to have those templates the way you want them. Amber, your dog is adorable. Oh, multiple dogs, and now they're fighting as I say that. So this will save you some time in the long run by being able to create those templates and reuse them over and over and over again. Okay, a couple of things I wanted to show you in here. We did recently move the menu options for map search. Instead of being on the bottom, now they're at the top. But there are a couple of features in here that are, again, great time savers. So I'm going to use this locate address. So the red stick pin, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it's going to allow me to put in whatever address I want to. This is based upon tax records, so it doesn't matter if the property is sold recently or not. I'm gonna go ahead and use my house. I live in Grafton. My address is 702 7th Avenue, Grafton, Wisconsin, 53027. And I'm gonna click on locate. So it's gonna put this red stick pin right on top of our subject property for us. I like using the stick pin, especially if I'm doing like a CMA, because what it allows us to do is go directly to our subject property. And from here, I've got a couple of options. I can go ahead and select this blue circle with the white eye in the middle of it. That's parcel information. So if I select that and single left click on our subject property, it's going to give us information about that property. So you can see I've got my lot dimensions all the way around, which can be really nice if I have a kind of weird shaped property and I want to know kind of my footage all the way around it. But it also is going to bring up this balloon here for us. It shows the property the last time it sold. It gives us the address. It gives us a direct link to the tax key number. So if I click on the tax key number here, it's going to take me to wire data. If I click on the monsoon, it's going to take me to the monsoon version of that. If the acreage are available within the system, it's going to give me my acreage. And it's also going to give me the previous listing history for this property. So I can see when it's sold, if it expired out, if it's currently active, pending, things like that. And I can actually click directly on to these MLS numbers, and it's going to bring us to that report last time that it sold. So if I click on that, it's going to open it up into a new window. So I have my full data sheet from the last time that the subject property sold. What I really like about having using this stick pin, so I go ahead and click on that stick pin itself, it brings up the option for me to do a radius search. So I really like doing this if I'm going and doing a CMA, so I can find properties as close to my subject property as I can. So if I click on my radius search, it's going to ask me how far do I want this radius to go out from our subject property. So the default is 1 mile. I'm going to go ahead and just click on create radius. Right now, I don't have any other information filled in as far as bedrooms, bathrooms, things like that. I'm only looking currently at my active listings. Obviously, if I was doing a CMA, I would want to include things like pending, withdrawn, sold, all those kinds of things. So you can see right now, I've got 13 properties that are currently active within a 1 mile radius of my subject property. But let's say I go ahead and do that and I'm not getting the number of results that I want, or maybe I'm getting too many. And I want to kind of narrow it in. I can go ahead and remove this circle by hovering over it. You'll see on the left-hand side, there's the little X. And when I hover over that, it says remove this location. I'm going to go ahead and just click on the X to remove that circle. Go back out a little bit. I can go right back to my stick pin, click on that, radius search. And let's say I wanted to go out 2 miles. I can just change it to 2 miles, create my radius, and now there's 30 properties that are active within the 1 mile or 2 mile radius of our subject property. The great thing about using this, again, is, as you all know from working in real estate, property values really can change from neighborhood to neighborhood. So if you're looking for good quality comps, I definitely would recommend utilizing this, kind of see what you get, because you're staying within a certain area right around that subject property. So those are probably going to be better comps for you. Another thing you can do with this locate address, we'll go ahead and just grab a clean map here, is you may be working with someone that wants to be within a certain distance of multiple locations. It's very common if you're working with doctors or a couple that want to be within certain distances of their jobs, and you can kind of guess where those are going to be. But the system actually can help you determine those different locations that will work for them. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my stick pin again, my locate address. And this time I'm going to use my office here. We are located at 12300 West Center Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53222. So once I have the address in, I'm going to click on locate, just like we did beforehand. And I'm going to go ahead and create a radius search. And I'm going to say we want to be within 5 miles of this location. So this is my work. I want to be within 5 miles of work. Create my radius. But I can go ahead and add in another radius if I want to, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab another locate address. And this time I'm going to use my church. Address is 6840 North 107th Street. And the thing is, as long as I have the municipality and the state abbreviation put in, I don't need to know the zip code. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear that out. And I'm going to click on locate again. And it's going to give us our second stick pin. I'm going to do a radius search on that one again. I have 5 miles. Create my radius. So now I know that anything within this bottom circle is going to be within that 5-mile radius of this location, and anything within this top circle is going to be within 5 miles of this stick pin. But the only thing that's going to work for both of these locations is this overlapping area right here. And you'll notice on the left-hand side here where it has shape, I've got my circle and my circle, and as I hover over them, they highlight to show which one that refers to. But the default is going to be within. So the within is showing us everything within those 2 circles. However, the only thing I want is this intersecting area. And if I click on within, it's going to change it to intersection. So now it's going to only look at this overlapping area between these 2. So I know that anything within this overlapping area is going to work for both of these locations being within 5 miles of them. So if I went ahead and save the search, it's anytime a new property comes on the market within that little sliver, it's going to look at that and it's going to send that out through my subscription email to my customer. Okay, we can take it one step further. And if I click intersection one more time, it's going to say not within. So this actually allows me to exclude certain areas. So let's go ahead and grab a clean template and I'll show you how that works. So let's say I've got a customer that is interested in living in Wauwatosa. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the municipality of Wauwatosa, but let's say they don't want to be in the freeway area. So I actually can go ahead and remove the freeway area. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of our shapes here. First on the top is drawing a rectangle, then a circle, and then polygon. Polygon allows us to draw whatever free form shape that we want to. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my polygon tool. I'm going to go to my starting point. I'm going to left click, take my finger off the mouse button, drag my mouse down to where I want to do another click. And I'm going to click, it's going to put another spot on there. And you see as I'm going through, it starts filling in this purple space for me. That's showing the area that I'm currently defining. The one caveat I will give you is that if you cross over even a little bit and you click to tell the system that you're done, you're going to get this error message. This polygon has sides that intersect and is not valid. Please try again. So be very mindful of not crossing over your own lines. So again, I'm going to go ahead and just click my way around this map, take my finger off as I'm dragging. Once I'm done drawing my shape, I'm going to double left click to tell the system that I'm done drawing. So right now we're looking at the municipality of Wauwatosa, and it's only going to show us those items that are within that space that we just threw out. Because again, the withdrawn or within rather is going to be our default. So I click on the within, it changes to intersection. There's nothing to intersect. If I click it one more time, it's looking at not within. So right now it's looking at the municipality of Wauwatosa, but it's giving us those properties that are not within this area that we just threw out. So that allows me to get rid of those properties that are within that freeway area that our customer does not want to be in. The other little tip I'm going to give you is when it comes to this contingent. So contingent is our active with offer. You may have used this before and gotten that little blue spinning wheel of death by clicking on the checkbox here. In order to avoid that little blue spinning wheel of death, if I just go ahead and directly click on the with offer, it's going to automatically check it for me. And for some reason, that actually prevents us from getting that little blue spinning wheel. Right now, it reads contingent of with offer, which I know is fantastic English to begin with. So right now, it's only giving us those properties that are currently active with offer. If I click on the of and change it to contingent not of with offer, which the English became even better, it's going to change it to contingent not of with offer, and that's going to give us those properties that are currently on the active status that do not have that contingency associated with them. So that's how I can remove those from my search. So right now you see we went from, I think it was 23 down to 3 properties in Wauwatosa outside of our search area that are currently active without that contingency flag. Okay. Do we have any questions on that before we move on?
Jared, we do have one question. Can you just backtrack and show us again how you placed the pin?
Yep. Yep. Let me go ahead and just grab a clean map here. Yeah, so on our toolbar, Toward the second from the bottom here is the red stick pin. And if I hover over that, that's the locate address. So if I click on that, I can put my address in here and click on locate, and that's going to put that red stick pin directly on my map for me.
Does that help you, Tammy?
I'll take silence as a yes. So another thing we're going to do while we're in this map is go ahead and utilize some of these overlays. Especially working in the Milwaukee area, it seems like you throw a stone and you're in a new neighborhood in Milwaukee. And you may have customers asking you for specific neighborhoods. The example I love to give is Bayview. Bayview is a postal municipality, but it is not a taxi municipality. So if I wanted to go ahead and find properties in Bayview, I could go ahead and add postal municipality to my search. So I'm going to click on postal municipality. And from my dropdown, I'm going to select Bayview. And you'll notice that once I select Bayview, I get 0 results. Reason for that is Bayview is actually serviced by both Milwaukee and Bayview's post office. And by default, Milwaukee is selected. So unless agents, when they're putting their properties in, are using that dropdown to change it to Bayview, you're not going to get any results. So kind of a workaround of that, and I hate to say workaround, but it's to actually utilize these overlay shapes. So if I go over to my upper right-hand corner of my map, I've got overlays. I'm going to select my dropdown. Anything under this MLS, these are overlays that are in the system. They're not usable as in I can click on them and just do my search, but it is going to define certain areas for you. So the Milwaukee area works really well with this neighborhood maponics. I'm going to go ahead and click on neighborhood maponics, and you'll see now I've got all these different grayed out areas. And as I zoom down, it actually goes and puts the name of that neighborhood right on top of my map for me. So if I do have a customer that's that wants to be in Fernwood or St. Francis or whatever, I can go ahead and draw these shapes out. Since we're talking about Bayview, I'm going to go ahead and draw my shape for Bayview, and you'll see that the outline of Bayview utilizes this white line here. I could go ahead and do a search for zip code 53207. However, that zip code does carry on over to Saveland Park, and I believe a little bit in Tippecanoe as well. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the shape out, and we're going to draw out a few of these different shapes, and we're going to save them because we can reuse these over and over and over again. So anytime a customer says, I want to be in Bayview, I don't have to come in here and draw that shape out. We're going to go ahead and save it to be able to reuse later on. So we're going to go ahead and grab on our toolbar here that polygon shape again, because again, that allows me to draw whatever freeform shape I want to. So I'm going to click on my polygon shape. I'm just going to grab a starting point, click, take my finger off the mouse button, click my next spot, and I'm just going to keep clicking my way around this map. I'm going to go ahead and screw up the shape towards the end so I can show you how to edit. Because the nice thing is, if you do screw up a shape, you can go ahead and adjust it without having to draw the entire shape over again. So I'm going to go ahead and just end it over here. Again, when I'm using the polygon tool, I'm going to double left click to tell the system that I'm done drawing. So now you can see within this Bayview area, I have 15 results. So it's 15 more than I did just using the postal municipality of Bayview. I want to go ahead and edit this shape. So anywhere within this shape, I can just left click. I'm going to get this little pop-up box, and it has the edit option. First thing we're going to do is give it a name. Because if I draw multiple shapes and they all just say polygon, they're really not going to do me too much good if I try to reuse them later on. So I'm actually going to go ahead and name this Bayview. I can change the color of the area if I want to. I'm just going to make it this kind of tealy blue. And within this, I've got edit shape as an option. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my edit shape. And now you'll see around the outside of my shape, I have all these little orange circles.
Yeah, hi Diane, it's Bill. Hey, I forgot to mention this morning. I think it was late last week. We got a invoice from Roman Electric made out to the first.
Can you mute
first
from
buyer that was interested? So do you want us to give that to you, to give to the other agent?
Yeah. What did they charge? What did they charge for that?
Steph, you should be able to, as the host, you should be able to mute them.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't have hosting.
I can get it from you. And then,
Tony, do you?
or if you
Tony,
wanted
do you have the hosting?
to
It
open
doesn't
it
give me
and
the option
scan it
either.
or take a picture of it and send it to me, and then I'll send it to, I'll tell the agent.
Go to
Hey, Diana.
Whatever
Diana.
easiest for you. Yeah, I can take a picture in that. So we got a bunch of showings already.
Enjoy a little
Yeah.
coffee break for a few seconds, guys.
Yeah, a very good start.
Yeah. Okay, listen, I'll let you go. I just want to mention it to you.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Bill, I can't believe they charge the buyer to come out there and do a valuation. That's
Diana,
why- Oh, what did they charge for that? So,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll open it up and.
Trying.
yeah, it's gonna be curious. I'm like, wow. Usually my electrician comes out for free when they do a valuation. So I can't do that. Yeah. So thanks for the information, and I'll send it over to him once you take a picture of it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Diana, could you mute yourself, please?
Diana Pecorelli, thank you.
There we go. All right. So again, we left clicked inside of our shape, clicked on edit, and now I've got these orange circles that are all over the outside of my map. I can click and left click and hold and just drag that up to where I need it to be. I'm just gonna go all the way around my map, adjusting those sides. And once I'm happy with my shape, bottom right-hand corner, leave edit shape mode. So now we are back onto our map and we have our shape. You'll notice in the upper left-hand corner, now it says shape and then it has Bayview since we renamed it Bayview. I'm gonna go ahead and just draw a few more shapes in just so I can show you what it looks like when we go to save, and then also how we can reuse these later on. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in Polonia. And the great thing about drawing these shapes out is I don't have to go through and draw out all these shapes at one time. Let's say I've got a buyer that is just looking at Bayview right now. I can draw out Bayview, save that shape, and then go ahead and add additional shapes to that file later on. So when we go ahead and save this, we're going to save this as a Milwaukee neighborhoods file because I can use as many pieces within that file as I want to. However, if I were to save this as Bayview and I were to save Polonia as its own file, I would not be able to use two files at one time. It's either one or the other. So we're going to save this all in one file so we can use as many pieces as we want to later on. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my polygon again, and I'm going to go ahead and just left click, take my finger off the mouse again as I drag it around my shape. Just clicking wherever I want to put a little spot. So when I'm done drawing my polygon, I'm going to double left click to tell the system that I'm done. You'll see now we have Bayview and we also have polygon. I'm going to left click in my polygon, click on edit, and we're going to give that a name as well. So we'll call it Polonia. We'll make that one yellow. If I needed to edit my shape, I could. I'm happy with my shape, so I'm just going to click on close. So now we have shape, Bayview, and Polonia. I'm going to go ahead and just click on do one more shape. We're just going to go ahead and do Morgandale. Again, I'm going to click on my polygon tool. I'm going to left click, take my finger off the mouse button, clicking my way and dragging my mouse around our shape here. Okay, when I'm done with my shape, I'm going to left click, double left click to tell the system that I'm done. I'm going to left click inside of Morgandale, do my edit, call it Morgandale. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and save. So within this pop-up balloon, I've got my save to map overlay. And again, in order to get there, all I have to do is left click inside of one of the shapes, edit, save to map overlay. And you'll see it gives me the option. Do I want to save this as a new overlay or do I want to add this to an existing overlay? Since this is a new overlay, I'm going to go ahead and just give it a name. And you'll also notice under polygons, the only one that currently has a checkbox in it is Morgandale. And that's because Morgandale was the one I clicked into in order to initiate my save. So if I wanted to save Bayview and Polonia as well, all I have to do is click those little checkboxes in here and click on save. And then I get this little green pop-up, overlay has been saved. I'm going to go ahead and grab a new map so I can show you how we use these. So under MLS number, address, or map overlay, to the right-hand side, you'll see it says browse. If I click on browse, it's going to bring up all the different files that I have for my overlays. So I'm going to go down to my MKE overlays 2. And if I click in there, you'll see it gives me every piece that was part of that overlay. I could go ahead and just select one if I wanted to and then hit enter, Or again, if I want to select multiple pieces, if you're a PC user, your control key, or if you're a Mac user, it's your command key. So once I have the one selected that I want, I can just click on enter. You'll see instead of saying shapes on the left-hand side, it says MKE overlays 2. So it's showing what file I'm using. And then it shows us our individual pieces of that file. Okay, we have a couple of things in chat. Yes, I believe, and it is being recorded. Oh, Steffi, you already got that taken care of. Never mind. So are there any questions regarding utilizing overlays, creating overlays, saving overlays, anything like that? Okay, not seeing or hearing anything. So that's everything that I wanted to show you as far as the mapping goes. The other thing I want to point out, and I feel like it's really underutilized, but it really does come in handy, is this very top bar
Kathy,
here.
how are you?
Oh, NJ?
Great, great. Very quick question for you. If we waived a wait on,
Hey, we're on a coffee break again,
waived a
folks.
wait on, if we waived a radon contingency, can they still do it, or would it have to be?
You just have to get approval from the seller that they would, you just ask the agent, like, we know there's no contingency, but since the inspector's going, would you be okay if you tested?
Okay,
I've never had a seller say no, but you definitely have to get that in writing.
NJ,
You can get it verbally, but I like everything in writing. And then you could do it. And you just have to then coordinate, because there's a pickup drop off window that is more than just something.
I apologize, everybody.
Come back in 48 hours, something like
Yeah.
that. Or sometimes they'll go before 48 hours before the inspection, and then he'll take it with him when he leaves.
right.
So one, just written approval, that's okay. And then
Can take over.
once you get that approval, you can ask the
postage.
inspector, how do they want to do the pickup and drop off of the
We don't have
test?
posting
Right,
capability.
and if he does find elevated levels, we can't ask for anything, of course.
But no,
NJ,
Okay,
you could just, I think you have a responsibility to share the report, but it would be completely on your buyer to mitigate it, which is in this marketplace. I've never seen one that was more than $1,200. And
okay,
we have a guy, Ken, that is, seems to be the most reasonably priced problem solver, when you're retrofitting houses.
I don't know how else we can get to,
I don't know either, because we don't have,
And the location.
we don't have host
You just wanna be
capabilities.
mindful of where the system.
Usually
exits and
I can
operates.
take
The
over
buyer
host.
always wants to be in control of that
Right.
system anyway,
right.
so it's never.
Can
worth
anyone
blowing up
text
a deal
NJ?
if you're not getting a deal.
I did just direct message him.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, this is extremely helpful. Thank you very much, as always.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right, thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
NJ. NJ, make sure that you please mute. We heard your whole conversation there.
everybody, please mute. Julie's iPhone, can you please mute? Sorry, everybody,
Lindsay's logging in and is going to try to mute everyone.
okay, thank you.
Kathleen is the host, but I can't reach her.
Thanks for your patience, everybody.
All right, let's get back into it. So at the very top here where it says enter an address, city, zip, MLS number, or contact, this is our quick search bar. And actually, I'm sorry, quick launch bar. It actually allows us to start searching, looking for menu items, all those kinds of things. And the great thing about this is it allows us to look at our recent searches. So if we accidentally close something out when we are in the middle of doing a search, it's going to bring up the last 5 searches that we did, whether it's saved as a draft or it's a link to a customer. It's also going to give us the last 3 quick launch histories that we did. So if we did do a search using quick launch, it's going to show those last 3 here. What I really like about this is it allows us to work with customers and multitask, because I can open new windows using this. I'm just going to use the example of looking for an office/member search. If I go ahead and hover over any of my menu options, on the right-hand side, you can see it says new tab. So I can go ahead and just click on new tab, and it's going to open it up into a brand new window for me. So whatever I'm working on this tab here, I'm not losing. I don't have to worry about saving it. I can just go ahead and open things up into a new window. The other nice thing I like about this is I can actually start doing a search. So if I'm talking to a customer that and they want 3 or more bedrooms, I can just do 3+, and I can do BD to indicate bedroom, I can type out the word bedroom if I wanted to. And you'll notice that as I start typing things in, it starts filling in those templates for me. Let's say they want at least a bath and a half. So I'm gonna say 1.5 plus BA for bathroom. I could type out the word bathroom again if I wanted to. I can do a price range. So let's say between 200 to 300K to indicate the 1,000, or I could use the greater than less than symbols. If I want, so if they didn't want to go over 300,000, I could do, less than 300,000. I can do municipalities. So if the one caveat I will give you, I'm going to go ahead and type in New Berlin. And you'll notice that when it comes to that municipality, it's just saying municipality of Berlin. So if you are searching for a municipality that has multiple words to it, all you have to do is put those in parentheses, and that's telling the system that it's all part of the same criteria. So now you'll see it change to municipality of New Berlin. The defaults it's giving us for our templates are single family, 2-family, or vacant land. But if you have someone looking for a condo, I can just type in the word condo, and it's going to add that as part of my template here for me. So I can type in pretty much anything that I'm looking for as long as it's like a main field. If you start getting like nitpicky with things, it's not going to necessarily bring up the results that you may have been expecting. But now I've got my search started. Again, I can go ahead and use my new tab, open this up in a new window and see what my results are. Right now I've got 0 results. That allows me to go right back here and make any changes that I wanted to. The other nice thing about this is I actually can go ahead and add different types in here. So if I'm looking for properties that are currently active, sold within last 45 days. Say I'm looking for some pending properties as well. Maybe I'm doing a CMA, getting that started here for me. I can type in those different statuses for me. And again, I can click on my new tab. And it's going to go ahead and bring up my results for me. I can even take it a step further if I wanted to. So let's say instead of New Berlin, let's go ahead and clear that out. Let's use the example of my house, since we already used that as an example. So let's say I want to do a radius search. I can just type in within 1 mile of, if I have an MLS number, I can add that, or I should be able to add the address as well, 702 7th Avenue, Grafton. So you'll see it added that to my search here. Click on my new tab again, go over here. And right now, there's nothing that matches that criteria because everything in Grafton is highly inflated, as I'm sure all of you are aware with prices everywhere right now. But it gives me, oh, it brought me to New York. That's interesting. So we want to make sure we're including Wisconsin in that. Wisconsin. Okay, so for some reason it's still showing Hell's Kitchen, but yeah, that's how you would start a search, using that. And then from here, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and use my edit option and change out my options down here to add whatever I wanted to. So let's say that Wisconsin thing's having an issue, so I'll add Wisconsin in down here. And it's still showing 0 results because the cheapest house right now in Grafton, I believe, is like 500,000. So that is the quick launch bar. Any questions on using the quick launch bar? Okay, not hearing any. Couple of things I want to kind of update you guys on. The other thing we wanted to talk about was listing common errors, and that's one of the updates I want to run you through. So recently, hopefully everyone's aware, we kind of broke out the street suffix into its own thing, so now you can select it from a dropdown. This was probably the biggest issue that we had when people were putting in addresses. And the reason we're so nitpicky about our addresses is the formatting ties listing history together. So if you have an additional space or a piece of punctuation, or the address is different in any way, shape, or form, that listing history is not going to appear. So we did move the street suffix down to this drop-down menu, so you don't have to worry about using the wrong suffix. But this actually is phase 1 of 2 phases Phase 2 actually is going to be coming hopefully this fall, and that is going to be auto-populating the addresses for you. So once that's available, all you'll have to do is add in your county, put in your tax key number, and click on auto-populate. That auto-populate feature is actually going to bring up options that match. It should probably only be one. Sometimes you may get two if there's two pieces of land that are sharing a tax key number. You would just select the one that you want, and it's going to auto-populate that address for you. So that's going to eliminate any of those address errors that you may have received the sanction on in the past. It will allow you to actually go ahead and adjust the addresses according, if you wanted to make adjustments to it. I would not recommend doing that because if we can't sanction you for using one of our addresses if we're the ones populating it. So that will be coming in fall. The other kind of teaser I wanted to give to you guys actually is this align showings piece. So align showings is going to be replacing showing time. It's a solution that we have. I see a couple of claps going on there. So align showings hopefully will be released to our market this fall. It's currently active in Utah and Silicon Valley. It's going to be released shortly here in Arizona. The nice thing about that is we're not the test subjects, so they have a chance to break it, have issues that can be changed prior to us getting it. So this is a product that we actually, as the MLS, co-own with 5 other MLSs. Years ago, we started a third-party company called MLS Aligned, and their sole function, bless you, Mike, their sole function is to actually go ahead and create technology for real estate. And this was a perfect thing. So Zillow actually purchased Showing Time. They are a broker in our marketplace. We don't, as a policy, we don't provide services to our brokers that we have to purchase from another broker. So we went ahead and purchased this rudimentary software, and our programmers have been basically going through it with a fine-tooth comb, adding things to it. And the great thing is that since it's our product, we can make changes to it as we see fit. We're never going to sell it to anyone. So it's basically staying in-house. So I'm just going to give you a quick little just preview as to what this actually looks like. So if I click on my calendar, it does give me the option of showing either just my listings, so I can see what's going on with my listings at that point in time. My showings, so if I have showings booked, I can go ahead and just look at what I'm doing that day or that month as far as showings go. Or if I have both selected, it's going to show me both of those. So on one calendar, it'll have my listings as well as those properties that I'm showing. Appointment status, so if something has been requested, it'll be in yellow. Once it's been approved, it'll be in green. If that had to be canceled, it'll show in black. If it was declined, it'll be in red. And then if it expired out, it'll be in that black as well. It also gives me the option of once I have my properties input here, I can actually reorder them, and it'll basically allow me to set up routes, and it'll have a calendar that'll show me different time frames. So I actually will be able to drag things around. Let me just grab a couple of properties here. I can add these to my route, and it's going to allow me to actually give it the route a name, what time I want to start, and then once I have that information factored in, it'll put it kind of like on a calendar time frame for me, so I can say, okay, I'm starting at this house at this time. I want to be there for half an hour, and then it's going to take me X number of minutes to drive to the next location. So it allows me to go ahead and set all that up ahead of time, and then at that point, go ahead and request those showings as in one bulk. I actually can also add in like a starting point. So if I'm starting from my house or my office, I can go ahead and add that information as well. So my listings, just like you currently can do, you'll be able to set up your listings in here. It'll give you the option of, okay, do I want to just go ahead and show the property? So if I have a vacant piece of property and I don't need the seller's approval to show that property, I can set that up. I also can set it up with my customer's email address or cell phone number if they wanted to receive a text message. So when someone requests a showing on their property, they'll be alerted that way, and then they can say yes or no to those showings. Reports, right now, it's just going to give us just a very basic report. More reports will be added on later. You'll be able to, at some point, be able to customize those. Messages are fantastic because it actually is going to record any information that goes back and forth between me and another agent. So if an agent requests a showing, it's going to appear on their showing and it'll say like what time it was approved. If they ask me any questions, if I send them a message through this, it's going to have that entire history of any conversation that we had back and forth about that property. It's going to show on here. So that basically is going to be our showing platform in general. Once it gets closer, we will be setting up training to actually make sure that you guys are comfortable with it. Once that transition happens, we're not just going to cut off showing time. So anything that you currently have set up in showing time, those will continue on until either those properties either expire out or sell, or until all those showings have been reached. Once this platform becomes available for you, it will be a single sign-on directly from Flex, like you're used to seeing in showing time. And then once this becomes available, you'll be able to set up new showings through it. You won't be able to set up any new things through or new listings through showing time. So it's going to kind of get phased out. So it's not just one day you have to reset everything. We'll be operating both of those for a little while. So is there any questions, comments, concerns about aligned showings? If not, that pretty much is everything that I wanted to cover today. So if there's any questions that you have regarding this or anything else, feel free to unmute yourself, put it in chat, ask the questions. I see we do have some things in chat. Tammy, I don't actually have a date for you. We're not going to release it during the summer months because obviously those are your busier times. So we're looking at really waiting until fall, even like early winter for that to happen, because we don't want to throw any wrenches into the works while you guys are in your busy season.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a way to pool reports on a certain community over a multi-year trend instead of just a one-year trend?
What kind of report?
Statistical
What kind of
report.
information are you looking for?
So, price of homes over a period of 2-year period of time instead of just a 1-year period of time.
Yeah, so are you currently using the rapid stats reports on our homepage? I think those are usually like 1 year compared to another year. So there is this rapid stats live. I don't know if any of your brokers currently subscribe to this. Currently, it's only a broker level tool. We are looking at making it an agent level tool, and that's going to allow you to dive more into those individual kind of statistics that I think you're looking for. But if one of your brokers does have the tool, you can work with them to kind of get those additional reports. It's just currently not available for agents.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, good question, Robert. So Robert's asking about the difference between continuous and ASAP as far as those subscription emails go. So continuous is basically up to 4 times a day. So if you have continuous selected, your customer will be getting updates kind of early morning, early afternoon, late afternoon, and then kind of early evening as well. ASAP literally is as soon as possible. So as soon as a match is made in the system, within 10 or so minutes of that match being made, your customer is going to be getting those properties emailed directly to them. The one caveat I do give when it comes to using ASAP is it's fantastic if you're looking for very specific things on a property. I made the mistake when it first came out of doing a test of just Milwaukee County. Left my desk for an hour, came back, and I had, I think, 60 individual emails from all those different properties coming on. So I definitely would recommend having that conversation with your buyers or sellers that are going to be receiving those emails, to see how often they want to, receive those updates for them. Back when I was selling, I always had my customers, my sellers set up as well with properties that matched theirs so that they could get those updates in real time as to what was happening. ASAP was not an option back then, so it was always continuous. But again, they're going to be receiving an email every single time that a match is made if you use ASAP. So just prompt them that if they're looking for something several, kind of more on the generic side, that they may be getting bombarded with emails.
Hey, Jared, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Back when you were creating the polygons around Bayview, Polonia, Morgandale, did you simply zoom in to the map and that's how you got those sort of neighborhood?
Yep. So basically when it comes to putting those on your map, so I'm on the map right now. On the very top, it says map, satellite, and overlays. If I use the drop down from the overlays, the one I selected was neighborhood map Onyx. So if I click on the neighborhood map Onyx, that's where it put those on there for me. And as I zoomed down, that's when it's I could see what the names were for those different areas.
Perfect. That's what I missed. Thank you.
You're welcome. There's a question in chat. I set up searches and selected active and delayed. Why are agents getting active? Or active with the contingency. So basically, the contingent properties are a subcategory of active. So because you're still showing the properties, well, the definition of an active with offer property is that you're still showing those listings. If you wanted them to not receive those anymore, you would use the contingent feature here. So again, we're going to click on the with offer and change the of to not of. And when I go ahead and save that, that's going to remove those active with offers from my results for me. Other questions, comments, concerns?
Jared, when you do the quick launch bar search.
Yep.
Can you put, so right now I'm just playing with it and I'm doing a two bed, 2-bath, Muskego, New Berlin areas, condo 200 to 425, and it's only giving me New Berlin. It won't give me the other municipality. Can you do multiple municipalities or do I have to open up another window?
So let's go ahead and you said New Berlin. And what was the other one, Muskego?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2+ bed, 2-bath.
Yep. So I all I did in mine right now is I did the New Berlin and I put that in quotes to make sure that it's looking at New Berlin.
Yep, I did
and
that.
Then I did space Muskego, and it is showing in my template as 2 different municipalities.
Okay. Put comma condo ones. I wonder what I did wrong. Maybe I put Muskego in.
It could be one of those weird things too that sometimes sometimes you may get like those error messages inside of Flex MLS, or you're not getting the results that you think you should be getting, and it's such a hokey excuse. But if you haven't cleared your cache in a while for your web browser, I highly recommend clearing your cache, and that typically takes care of like 90% of the issues that occur within inside of Flex.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Robert, I see your message. I will give you a call afterwards. Just gonna eat lunch real quick if that's okay, and then I'll give you a call and help you with whatever you need there. Anything else for the good of the order?
Thank you, Jared. Sorry for yelling at everybody.
Thank you, Robert. I will give you a call after I get done eating. So if there's nothing else, feel free to reach out to us as need be. We're here to help you guys out. The main line here is 414-778-5400. If you want to contact me directly, my email is just Jared, Jared @metromls.com. If there's anything we can help you with, definitely reach out and let us help you.
Yeah, and I want to add that the support at MLS is wonderful. I mean, some of the agents will call Steph or me with questions, and I usually refer them to call you or the support team at MLS. They're extremely, extremely helpful and very clear in their responses.
Well, that's what we're here for, and that's what people get paid to do. So make sure you're making them earn their paychecks, people.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.